Hey, what's going on? I am gonna try to show everybody on how to AFK now every single possible map that seems to be possible at least. All right, I haven't fully tested them yet, so it's gonna be a learning curve. But I will show in this video all possible maps that can be AFK'd by a tiny task. All right, so let's start with the easiest one. Let's go. Now, before I start with the whole listing of everything, I know, I'm cutting off a little bit, but you need to prepare a tiny task first, alright? Either you have files macroed already, which I somehow cannot, some kind of bug or something, or maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but you gotta make sure your tiny task is prepared. So click here, you can choose what speed you prefer to go on. I don't really care, I stay on 1 time speed. Make sure your playback loop is like infinite, even if it says a random number here, yeah? And then make sure continuous playback is checked. And I guess you could also make sure you have hotkeys set for recording and playing if you need to. Alright, so now let's get to the story, AFKs. Alright, on the first one on the chopping block today is Desert Village. I'll just be showing one because they're all the same. Yeah, they're all the same. Desert Village is the easiest one to macro, it being, at least beforehand, having the best spawns possible. I don't know if the spawn has changed in this update though, since I haven't actually checked. So this is gonna be the first time viewing of if the spawn has changed or not, which I don't think it should. So it should still be the same macro as always. Especially if you have Tatsumaki, and especially if you have like, I guess Garp, yeah, Garp, Garo Evo, anyone that is hybrid on placement, really, and is cheap enough to be placed on wave one. All right, so same place. So for this one, easy enough. Hit your recording hotkey, or if you want to click here, and then you can click the unit you want to use. For me, it's Tatsumaki. Place her down. Spam Q. Go up a little bit so you can click Tatsumaki. Spam upgrade, and then you click where the retry button would be. In story, it would be here, I think roughly, and in challenges, it would be somewhere on this side, I think. And afterwards, you end your recording, and as you can see, the way I do it is like in short bursts. I do it in like short bursts of like 20-second recordings. So I don't move my character. I don't do anything else. I just do it like this. So if you see me right now, I click play. It's gonna replay it. It's gonna keep doing this, and this is gonna guarantee win. Especially because this is desert. You could probably just macro just place and spam retry, and that should work. Like you could, instead of doing all this work, right? Doing all this work here of like having to also click upgrade, you could just do this instead if your units are strong enough. If your units are strong enough, you could just click record. You can just hit record. You can just record, place, spam retry, and recording. If your units are good enough, aka if they have Overlord or Avatar or Glitch, I guess. But in Desert specifically, that should be possible with anyone, unless of course the unit cannot hit air. Then some acts of Desert will be impossible for it. All right. So I don't think I need to show you the rest of this. So I'll see you back at this story area where I shall talk to y'all about the next story map. All right, our next story map to go towards is Waterpark. Now, this one, it actually does not matter uh, which one and what unit you have. Well, it kind of does. Because this map, you need to have either a, well, yeah, it's one of the two, really. It's either Bobak or Tatsumaki, or I guess Kizaru, if you really don't have a good hill unit. Yeah, and you'll see why, if the spawn hasn't changed at least, on why I'm saying that. Because if the spawn hasn't changed, you should be spawning right Right, come on. Oh yeah, also if you're confused, to where I'm clicking is like air because I'm capturing it differently, so it's not like 1-to-1 on your screen probably. So you spawn right here, and if you zoom out, the map is like nothing. You're like near the end of the map. So you need a unit that can be placed on this rooftop. In our case, or in my case, Tatsumaki. Now all seeing would be great. Overload avatar glitch, obviously amazing, but you just need someone that has a lot of range. So to do this one, you just record, and start recording. Click Tatsumaki, or go back, or Kizaru, I guess, if you really wanted to. Place, spam Q, go up a little bit, click Tatsu, or whoever unit you're placing, and then spam upgrade. And the same thing, click around the middle of the screen to where retry is, if you're doing story, or click over here, roughly over here, if you're doing challenges. And then you end recording. And then this should just play as normal. You should just keep on doing this. Just keep on repeating this over and over. And with Tatsu and or Bobak or Kizaru, this is an absolute win. You may not even need to do upgrades if you have Overlord Tatsu or like a really strong fill unit. So yeah, that's the end of this one. Also, the nice thing is, I guess it doesn't matter. This whole map is full ground, but again, this is just the way I mapped it. All right. If you have a better way to do it, by all means. But this is the way I do it. Is the easiest way to do it in my book. So this is how I do it. So time to move up to the next map. And let's see, because I actually don't know. Is this not macroable? We'll see, because I will talk about it. So see you next map. Alright, time to go back in and try Hollow. If you're seeing this, that means either I'm just putting this in so that I can show you lot on if this is AFK All, and just, or maybe it is AFK. Who knows? Yeah, it's either to show that it is impossible because of where the spawn is, or it is possible, and it just needs a bit more movement that I do not care about. So I probably won't be doing it if it needs some kind of movement. Well, maybe we'll see. All right. Let's see. Where is the one spawn in Hollow Dimension now? I've seen a Namek one because I did a Namek challenge earlier. So I think so. We'll see about that. Oh, this is a very good spot actually. All right, yeah, very good spot, especially if your unit's strong enough. So if your unit is strong enough, hit record, press 2, or your Tatsumaki, or whatever. Place her anywhere here, probably like more or less like maybe down here. Spam Q, click there again, spam upgrades, and then click where the retry button would be on your screen. Right? Now, this is probably the optimal way, I guess. This is the easiest way. It should work as well for if you have, especially if you have Overload or Avatar Tatsu, you can definitely do Act 6 easily. Like I don't think it's that hard. But if your hill unit isn't strong enough, it's gonna be a bit rough. I will say that. So we shall see on how things go. Now I will let me try to zoom out because the other tactic that I learned is to zoom out spam, which hold O. You could do this. The other option now is to do this. You zoom out spam every time at the start of your recording. You zoom out spam, and then you can place your ground units instead here if you really need to. If you don't have a good hill unit, a cheap ground unit you can place here. So like in that case, you would be pressing record, spamming O, click the O button, spam it, like hold it or spam it a lot, and then you click your ground unit. Like I guess for me, I guess it would be Hey for now. Click where she would be placed, where you want her to be placed, and then spam Q. Maybe spam O again, just in case, so that it will zoom out. Click her, spam upgrade, and then click where the retry button would be. If it's a zoom out state, you might need to memorize where it is or like check first. because I don't actually remember the spot, so I usually, especially because I don't have a macro setup or I cannot have macro files. I will have to like play for one whole 15 waves, and then I will start off the whole thing with clicking the retry button, and then going with whatever plan I have. So yeah, that's how you AFK Hall dimensions now. Not like it was anything amazing anyway, because it's just nothing useful here. But all right, off to the next one, and I think this one's gonna be a bit harder to try the macro, just because of where it spawns. So I'll see you at Namek. Okay, so here's the moment of truth here. We're gonna do Namek, the one that would have been very helpful to be able to AFK when Vegito first came out on a DBZ update. Now I'll be defaulting to Act One because the map spawn doesn't change. It's just that the enemies get stronger and some maps gain flying enemies. So it's always a safe bet to always use a hybrid or air/hill unit. So yeah, and the reason why I was a bit uncertain about this one because it is possible, but I just don't know. All right. So first things first, you spawn right above the enemy base. There is no spot for you to actually reach to, unless I guess you could place here. No, huh? Yeah, you can. So if you have really really good vision, you could just you can't place that. Ooh, there, I guess. Yeah, there. What the hell? Okay. So if you have a Tatsumaki, I think only Tatsumaki, maybe Bobak, with good damage, you could just from standing here without zooming out, because zooming out is another method. You could hit the record button, press your Tatsu, place her about where mine is, I guess, or I guess maybe a bit closer down if there's a better spot, like down here maybe if you wanted to, like down bottom here as well, and then click. You click her, and then click again. Spam upgrade because she might need it because they get tougher and tougher, especially if you're doing Nightmare Act 6. And then you can click where the retry button would be, which I think is roughly here for story and roughly here for challenges. Of course, you could always just recheck first yourself and start the whole recording with clicking on the retry button. So I guess as I said earlier in the past few worlds, the way I do my macros is I do like I try my best to find macros that can do like you do like in like a quick 20 to 30 seconds or less depending on the map, and then you just make it so that you just keep going, so it's almost certainty that you will continue forever, right? Because if you like record your whole run, some internet issues could cause you like suddenly you're going in after the macro's already gone for like an extra 15 seconds or something, and then that ruins your entire macro, right? So I always preferred this way. So yeah, so it seems this works, which is great, really. Now I will close this. Now I will try to see if I spam O here, if I zoom out, the map is quite small. All right, it is quite small now. So technically, you could probably still do this. In this way, you start off either by clicking retry if you're testing it, or you click record. You spam O a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, and then click your ground unit. I'll say hey again. Put her like somewhere decent. Here's a good spot, I guess. Yeah. Spam Q. Click her again. Spam upgrade. Maybe click away and then spam O again, just in case. And then click around where the retry button would be if you already know where it is. You could also start the recording by clicking where it is by like recording it when your mouse is already on the retry button, then spam clicking, moving it a little bit. So, but that's how you would AFK these, I guess, as far as I know. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could also try the other strats, but these are the easiest strats you could do on this. Of course, if you also want to do other strats like money units first into other units, you could, but I just think these are better. So now we'll be returning to Superhero City, which I know hasn't changed. So that's just gonna be a quick one. So I'll see you there. So I just remembered I was wrong. I'm too used to being on Star Mansion at this point already. But now we're on going to Star Mansion, not Superhero City. So yeah, call me a dunce. But this is also one. So we're gonna be 3 worlds back to back, having the exact same. Well, this one's slightly changed, but yes, more or less every other world has the exact same spawn. So I'll quickly speed run through this one. Again, there are 2 methods for Star Mansion if you really don't have enough money, or if you don't have a good unit that's cheap enough. Because you can't use Tatsu in this one, so you kind of have to go with the ground units. Luckily, the whole group, everyone's ground though. So hey, yeah, this is not that much of a problem. But there are 2 methods to Star Mansion because it's starting to get really tough here. So the first method is probably the easiest one you could do. Is the casual one unit placement because all my units except for Toji are like cheap enough. I could technically use anyone here. So like an example, I press F8 or yeah, my recording keys locked to F8, and then I place down my ground unit. Either it be Sunwoo or Hei. I guess I'll put Hei for now. Like roughly here, and then click her again or spam Q. Click her again. Now upgrade. Click retry here or here depending on which one you're doing, story or challenge, and then end recording. See, that is the easiest one possible. Like, this is the easiest way if you have an actually strong unit. Otherwise, you can't grind Act 6 this way, right? So the other way to do this, as you can see, this is running well. This ain't changing anytime soon, right? The second way to do this is you place down a money unit first. You don't record, so assume Hei's not there. You place down a money unit. You don't record yet. Once you have enough money to place down your damage unit, you hit record. Click your money unit. Place it exactly where he's placed right now. Q. Click away, and then place down your ground unit. And then Q. Click him. Upgrade, and then click where the retry button is. So again, 2 methods to Star Mansion. Either you go the one only unit route if you have a strong enough unit, or you go money first into a damage unit. But again, this usually you would do this if like you're like a Toji, funny enough with our OH. But it also works with Gojo Evo, Sukuna Evo, Guts obviously also. Just any ground unit with decent enough range and good enough damage to survive long enough is all. Alright? But that's the end of Star Mansion because it's just a really short one. If you don't get any of these macros, well, that's just my fault, I guess, but we'll see. So, see you in actually Superhero City this time. Starting of the OPM updates. Alright, here we are actually gonna do Superhero City now. Now, again, this spawn actually hasn't changed. So, the method doesn't change at all from my last one. So, if you saw the other video where I claimed to be able to do every single possible story macro, I did write outdated on the title, but pretty much every macro that was in there except Hero Association is the exact same. I'll show you why in a second. Well, I'll show you why when I get to Hero Association. Because that one they change this ever so slightly to the point where my method in that video does not work anymore. So in Superhero City, the spawn's the same. You spawn smack dab in the middle. You spawn right here. Hold on, let the world load. My Wi-Fi is slow. Right here. In the air, I guess. What the hell? Not to say. Alright. So you spawn. Press your record button. Place your Tatsu down. I think it has to be Tatsu here. And then place her like in the middle of this cop car. And then press spam Q. Click her again. Spam upgrade. And then spam the retry button to where you want it to be. Like either here in story or here if it's in challenge. And you end your recording and let it play back over and over and over. Now, Am I saying this one is impossible with a ground unit? No. If you wanted to, you could technically easily place a ground unit in the front. Like put it like over here. Like easily. Like it's not hard. Like, see, like boom, boom, boom. Like, you could do that instead of Tatsumaki. But you need to have a really strong ground unit that has the range and damage to kill the boss in that short amount of time. Because this isn't a lot of trap. While Tatsu covers like from that part until like the turn in the back. It's like she covers a lot more ground and gives slow. So yeah, I think those are the only real ways. Of obviously, there's of course the other way, the money units first into other damage units that are a bit more expensive. Probably capped at about like 2K, I think, or something of the sort. Like there's of course still that method, but just if you want to do this, get Tatsumaki. If you have her, you can pretty much AFK nearly every map. Actually, you can do well. You can't do Star Magic, but yeah. So that's the end of this one, short one because it's the same as last time. Just reviewing it again. So you can do either place one unit, upgrade, retry, or money unit to damage unit, upgrade, retry. Two options there. Or retry first into placing and then upgrading and then ending your recording right there in about like what 20 to 30 seconds. But that's about it. I'll see you at Hero Association. Time to start the second to last story map, which is gonna be Hero Association. Now this one already has a pretty strong boss. Like the HP is pretty high already, but it's also not an easy map to actually AFK in because there's only one method for this map to work in this map, unless you want to like have exactly precise movements because not fix, they move the spawn point slightly forward, causing you, if you want to do my old method of holding left, just walking left, you won't hit the car anymore. Instead, you will walk past the car. So there's no halt anymore. So now the only possible way is hit record, hold O to zoom out as far as possible, and then place Tatsu probably here or here. Yeah. If it doesn't glitch out, what the hell, man? I guess here works. Yeah, here works fine. See, yeah, place there, click, and then spam upgrade, and then click where the retry button would be, and then end recording. That is the only method I can see. Maybe using a ground unit that has insane range and good damage. Aside from that, there is no other strat as far as I know. This is of course a slow strat, but it works out for me. Because as you can see, if I go back in, walk left, it used to block. But now we are slightly on this angle. We used to be here, but now we're here. Or the car moved. So now we can't actually do anything. Now if we hold left, we walk up the car. Or we do this, yeah. So the only way to AFK here is to stand still, zoom out the farthest you possibly can, somewhat glitch against the walls too, technically, or something. I just forgot where the position was. And you can place it your Tatsumaki roughly here or here, depending where you want to actually place her, and then just spam upgrade and make sure she can defend. But of course, still do the money strat because you will almost be guaranteed to be at wave 2 by the point they come here. So yeah, there's two ways to do it. But that's it for Hero Association, and time to go for the last story, which is the Big Oaf Snowy Domain. See ya soon then. Alright, here we are at the raids. So I'll be showing you the two raids, obviously, as well. And just ahead of time, to do these ones specifically, unless you're doing like Act 1, you will need like top tier, like Overlord Avatar Glitch Trait units to solo and AFK. If you don't have any of those, tough luck, better luck next time. So for Marine Fort, I'll be testing in Act 1 because I guess I'll test Act 5 because I don't want to waste my Act 6 privileges. Because in this one, it actually does matter because it's going to be a lot harder, and you need to be able to, and you need to have units that are able to handle this. And in Marine Fort, there are 0 good spots to place Tatsumaki when you spawn, because you're facing straight. You cannot place her anywhere in your vicinity. So for Marine Fort, you need to place a ground unit. I've tested this way too many times. Wait, did they move it slightly? Oh my god, they moved it slightly. You cannot place Tatsu. You pixel perfectly place it somewhere here. Right there. You can place Tatsu there. Spam Q, and you're now AFKing with Tatsu. Beautiful. So I take back my word. You can tiny task with Tatsu. You can hit record, place her pixel perfectly where she could be placed only there, because you can't place back here, can't place here or here or here or here, obviously not on the ground, too far away. Like, you can't place up there either because it's, yeah. So you have to have a pretty much pixel perfect placement with Overlord Tatsu or Avatar Tatsu, spam upgrade, spam retry, and that's it. You can AFK with just Tatsu, because I made a video on that, and it's been proven, because Tatsu is super strong. Or the other method is to just go with a ground unit, place them about either here or a bit probably here, so you have coverage, or in the front, your choice really, wherever you prefer. And then you could mix the macro in with placing them and then placing a money unit. That obviously could work. Or it could be safe and place it on your side of the field, like here, even though it's a bad spot, because units could pass by and block your. Oh, they don't. Never mind. I was wrong. So, the 2 ways to AFK Marine Fort is to either place Tatsu right exactly and only here, because there's nowhere else to place her, or you place a ground unit that's early and cheap enough to defend that hopefully has hybrid. They have to have hybrid, so none of my units will work. You need Garp. You need Garp. Oh my god, okay. Or I guess Garu Evo. And place them about here. So they can have the most impact early. And then maybe place down a money unit if you really need it. If not, just spam upgrade them instead. But yeah. I don't know. I don't actually know if there is a ground unit that can AFK this. Because I don't know if Garu Evo has enough damage to kill everything later on in the future. So I guess that's up to you to test it now. But all I know now is that it is possible to AFK with Tatsu. And that's all that matters. Alright, on to the last one. Last map now, which is going to be Hell City, which used to be already macroable, but they changed the spawns now from 2 to 1. So, let's see how things go. Alright, and we are now rounding up this entire thing with the last map and I guess before Snowy Plains, Snowy Domain, the last map to be able to be macroed and the best one so far, because of the fact that because this is the best place you could grind for the big old the big man, which is the big reroll upgrade, because rerolls are great. So let's go and let's see how things shall go. Hell City, the one spawn. Alright. If well, I guess not if. In this macro, since it's only a one spawn, they moved it. It's now a one spawn. And this one spawn is a bit further away than normal. Now, could you use a ground unit here? Probably. Maybe. But where would you place him? what, like here on this corner? Here? I don't know. But I'm placing them, well, my Tatsumaki here. Or I guess you can place it a bit closer. You click up, click her, spam retry, and that's your entire macro. Because you spawn in the exact same place, you can go over here over and over, and Overlord Tatsu can solo any raid, can solo any map except Star Mansion because you cannot place anywhere near your spawn. And aside from that, this just proves all you need to AFK farm in this game is to get Overlord or Avatar Tatsumaki. And this is legit it. I have been grinding this for a while. Just doing this, just upgrading random, just consistently upgrading, making sure that I can survive and win till the end. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this. That's all the maps that are available currently on as of the solo leveling part 2 update. And yeah, that's all the maps. Macroable, AFKable. Some are much easier than others, but this just proves that every map is not possible to be AFK. So, see you guys. Good luck grinding. Tiny Task is goaded, and see you, I guess, in the upcoming probably QOL update, because that's probably what's going to come up next before a new big update shows up. So, see you around, and good luck grinding. Get over Tatsu, and that's about it.